Introduction to Spain as a timeless travel destination. Overview of contrasts. Bustling cities, Mediterranean beaches, Moorish palaces, Gothic cathedrals, flamenco culture, and diverse landscapes. Have you ever dreamed of a place where every corner feels like a journey through time, where history, culture, art, and nature weave together into one breathtaking masterpiece? That place is Spain. A country that doesn't just welcome you, it overwhelms you with its passion, its rhythm, and its unforgettable beauty. From medieval castles and Moorish palaces to golden beaches and bustling plazas, Spain is a land where every step tells a story, and every story feels alive. In this cinematic journey, we'll uncover the wonders of Spain, a nation that in 2025 remains one of the most fascinating and diverse destinations in the world. So fasten your seatbelt, because this isn't just a trip, it's an experience that will stay with you forever. Spain is not one single identity. It is a mosaic, a collection of cultures, languages, and traditions, each region proudly preserving its own uniqueness while still being a part of the greater Spanish soul. Imagine walking through Madrid, where centuries-old palaces stand beside vibrant modern boulevards. Contrast that with the surreal colors of Barcelona, where Gaudi's dreamlike architecture bends the rules of reality. Then head south, where Andalusia whispers tales of Moorish kings and fiery flamenco dancers, where every night feels like a festival and every sunset seems painted on canvas. But Spain is more than just its cities, it is its landscapes too. On one side, you have rugged mountains like the Pyrenees and the Sierra Nevada, towering with snow-capped majesty. On the other, the golden Mediterranean coast stretches endlessly, where warm waters meet charming fishing villages and hidden coves. Travel west and you'll find rolling vineyards, olive groves, and medieval towns perched on hillsides. Journey even further to the Canary Islands, and you'll think you've stepped onto another planet with volcanic craters, black sand beaches, and surreal lunar landscapes. Few countries can offer such a variety of experiences, all within a single journey. And then there is the culture. The Spanish people are known for their zest for life, a love for food, music, and celebration that is contagious. Imagine sitting in a bustling plaza in Seville as the sounds of flamenco guitar fill the night air. Picture yourself in Valencia during Las Fallas, where fire, art, and tradition light up the streets. Or perhaps you're in Pamplona, feeling the pulse of excitement as the running of the bulls charges through ancient streets. In Spain, culture is not something you observe, it's something you live, breathe, and feel. Food, of course, is a story in itself. Spain has one of the richest culinary traditions in the world. Tapas culture invites you to taste little bites of everything, from sizzling garlic shrimp to perfectly seasoned chorizo. In Valencia, you'll discover the authentic paella, cooked slowly with saffron rice and fresh seafood. In the Basque Country, Michelin-starred chefs reinvent traditional dishes with creativity and flair, while in Madrid, nothing beats the comforting taste of churros dipped in thick hot chocolate after a long evening of exploration. Each bite tells you as much about Spain as its monuments and museums. What makes Spain especially enchanting is how effortlessly it blends the old with the new. Its cities are living museums, where Gothic cathedrals and Roman aqueducts coexist with sleek skyscrapers and avant-garde art galleries. Walk through Toledo, and you'll feel as though you've stepped back into medieval times. Yet travel to Bilbao, and you'll stand before the futuristic curves of the Guggenheim Museum, a symbol of modern creativity. This duality is what gives Spain its eternal charm. It honors its past while embracing the future. In 2025, Spain is not just about sightseeing, it's about experiencing. It's about watching the sunset from the walls of Dubrovnik. No, in Spain, it's from the ramparts of Avila. It's about standing in awe beneath the ceiling of the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, or listening to the echo of centuries inside the Mezquita of Cordoba. It's about hiking through green valleys and rugged peaks, then cooling off in the crystal-clear waters of the Balearic Islands. It's about the energy of Madrid's nightlife, where the city seems to wake up only after midnight. The serenity of a quiet morning stroll through the Alhambra's gardens. Spain invites you to slow down and savor life, to wander without a plan, to sit in a cafe for hours, to lose yourself in the rhythm of its cities and the silence of its landscapes. It is not a place you simply visit, it is a place you feel. And by the time you leave, you'll realize that Spain has left its mark on you. A mark that calls you back, again and again. This is just the beginning of our journey through Spain. In the chapters ahead, we will dive into its most extraordinary destinations, from the royal grandeur of Madrid and the surreal beauty of Barcelona, to the Moorish wonders of Andalusia, the futuristic pulse of Valencia, the flavors of the Basque country, and the timeless charm of its historic towns and natural landscapes. Spain is a country of wonders waiting to be explored, and every moment here is a story worth telling. So, let's step into the heart of Spain, where history, passion, and beauty come together to create an unforgettable adventure. Madrid, the beating heart of Spain. Explore the Royal Palace, Prado Museum, Puerta del Sol, Gran Via nightlife, Retiro Park, and authentic tapas culture. Blend tradition with modern cosmopolitan energy. What makes a city truly unforgettable? Is it its history, its energy, its people, or perhaps a magical combination of them all? Welcome to Madrid, the beating heart of Spain. This is not just the capital, it's the soul of the country. City that never sleeps, never slows down, and never fails to capture the imagination of anyone who walks its bustling streets. If Spain is a symphony, then Madrid is the crescendo, bold and powerful, full of life and passion. Madrid is a city that thrives on contrasts. On one hand, it is steeped in centuries of history, with royal palaces, monumental plazas, and grand cathedrals that whisper the stories of kings and queens, revolutions and triumphs. On the other hand, it's a vibrant, modern metropolis, buzzing with art, fashion, music, and nightlife that stretches until dawn. This balance between the past and the present makes Madrid unlike any other capital in Europe. It's both timeless and constantly evolving. The journey often begins at Puerta del Sol, the symbolic center of Spain. This bustling square, marked by the famous clock tower, is where locals gather on New Year's Eve to eat 12 grapes at the stroke of midnight, each grape a wish for the year ahead. Just steps away lies Plaza Mayor, Madrid's grand square, framed by elegant arcades and centuries of history. Imagine sitting at a cafe here, sipping on coffee while gazing at the same cobblestones where royal proclamations, bullfights, and even Inquisition trials once took place. Every stone in Madrid tells a story. And then, there is the jewel of the city, the Royal Palace of Madrid. Larger than Versailles, this palace is the official residence of the Spanish royal family, though today it is used mainly for state ceremonies. Walking through its opulent halls is like stepping into another era, surrounded by gilded ceilings, crystal chandeliers, priceless tapestries, and works of art by masters like Velázquez and Caravaggio. Outside, the palace gardens offer a peaceful retreat with fountains and pathways that look out over the Almudena Cathedral and beyond. But Madrid is not just about monuments, it's also about art, and few cities in the world can rival its treasures. The city's golden triangle of art is a pilgrimage for culture lovers. The Prado Museum houses masterpieces from Velázquez, Goya, and El Greco, offering a glimpse into centuries of Spanish creativity. The Reina Sofia Museum shifts the focus to modern art, with Picasso's haunting Guernica standing as a powerful reminder of war's devastation. Then, the Thyssen-Bornemisza Museum bridges the gap, with works from Van Gogh to Monet, offering one of the most complete art collections in Europe. Together, these three institutions make Madrid a world capital of artistic expression. Of course, no exploration of Madrid is complete without mentioning its plazas and parks. The Retiro Park is the city's green oasis, where locals jog, picnic, or rowboats on its serene lake. Once reserved for royalty, today it is the People's Park, filled with sculptures, gardens, and even a crystal palace that glimmers in the sunlight. The park offers a reminder that Madrid, for all its urban energy, also knows how to slow down. And then, there is the energy of Madrid's nightlife, something legendary worldwide. Unlike many cities, Madrid doesn't come alive until the sun goes down. Dinner here starts late, often around 10 p.m., followed by hours of conversation, laughter, and music. Then, as the clock strikes midnight, the city transforms into a playground of tapas bars, flamenco shows, rooftop lounges, and nightclubs that pulse until sunrise. The locals have a saying, "Madrid nunca duerme." Madrid never sleeps. And it's true here. Life is celebrated day and night. But perhaps Madrid's greatest strength is its spirit. This is a city that welcomes everyone, that makes visitors feel at home. Whether you're enjoying tapas in a cozy bar tucked into the streets of La Latina, shopping in the chic boutiques of Salamanca, or joining thousands of fans in the roaring Santiago Bernabéu Stadium to cheer for Real Madrid, you can't help but be swept away by the city's passion. And let's not forget the food. Madrid may not sit by the coast, but it has become a culinary capital in its own right. Traditional dishes like cocido madrileño, a hearty chickpea stew, and the ever-popular bocadillo de calamares, a simply but delicious fried calamari sandwich, are staples of local dining. Pair them with a glass of Spanish wine or a refreshing vermouth, and you've experienced the flavors of the city. And if you have a sweet tooth, no visit is complete without indulging in churros con chocolate, best enjoyed in the early morning after a long night of dancing. In Madrid, every moment feels alive. It's a city where strangers can become friends over a shared table, where history surrounds you at every turn, and where the rhythm of life seems to beat a little faster. It is not a city you merely visit, it is a city you live, even if only for a short while. As we leave Madrid and continue our journey through Spain, one thing becomes clear. This is a city that embodies the Spanish spirit itself, passionate, artistic, welcoming, and endlessly alive. Madrid is the perfect starting point for discovering Spain, a capital that tells the story of the entire nation while still carving its own unique identity. And yeah, Spain has so much more to reveal. Next, we head east to a city that defies imagination, a place where fantasy and reality merge into one. Barcelona awaits, with its surreal architecture, vibrant culture, and Mediterranean soul. Barcelona, city of Gaudí and dreams. Sagrada Familia, Park Güell, Gothic Quarter, La Rambla, and Barceloneta Beach focus on art, architecture, and Catalonia's distinct cultural identity. What if a city could feel like a dream? A place where reality bends, where architecture becomes art, and where every street seems alive with imagination. Welcome to Barcelona, Spain's most enchanting city, where the Mediterranean breeze carries whispers of history, innovation, and a spirit unlike anywhere else in the world. Barcelona is not just a city you visit. Samantha had always thought her family's home was ordinary, nothing special. Nestled in a quiet neighborhood, it was a cozy two-story house with a white picket fence and a well-kept garden. Yet, as she wandered the dusty attic one afternoon, something unusual caught her eye. In the far corner, beneath a pile of forgotten boxes, she noticed a narrow trapdoor hidden under the floorboards. Curiosity piqued. She knelt down and pulled it open. The small stairwell that lay beneath led to a dim, musty tunnel. The walls were lined with stone, and a faint, cool breeze seemed to whisper from deep within. Heart racing, Samantha descended cautiously, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. The tunnel stretched far longer than she expected, twisting and turning beneath the earth. She couldn't shake the feeling that she was trespassing, that something was waiting for her. After what felt like an eternity, the tunnel finally opened up into a hidden room. The walls were lined with old bookshelves filled with strange, leather-bound volumes. In the center of the room, an old desk sat surrounded by dusty papers and journals. As Samantha skimmed through the documents, her hands trembled. The records spoke of forbidden rituals and secret societies, her family's name mentioned repeatedly. At a place where the sacred and the surreal meet. To step inside is to feel both awe and peace, as if you've walked into a living prayer carved in stone. But Gaudi's influence doesn't stop there. Wander into a living prayer carved in stone. But Gaudi's influence doesn't stop there. Wander into Park Güell, and you'll enter a fairy tale landscape of whimsical mosaics, colorful lizards, and curved benches that seem to dance with life. Or stroll along Passeig de Gràcia, where his buildings like the wave-like Casa Milà and the fantastical Casa Batlló stand as monuments to creativity, drawing millions of admirers each year. Gaudí didn't just design buildings, he gave Barcelona its soul. Yet Barcelona is more than Gaudí. Its history stretches back to Roman times, and traces of that ancient past remain in the Gothic quarter, where narrow alleyways lead to medieval cathedrals, hidden courtyards, and bustling squares. Here, you feel the weight of centuries as you pass beneath stone arches and stand before the towering Barcelona Cathedral, a Gothic masterpiece that anchors this atmospheric neighborhood. From history to the sea, Barcelona also embraces the Mediterranean with open arms. The Barceloneta beach is a place where locals and visitors alike soak up the sun, play volleyball, or stroll along the palm-lined promenade. Few cities in the world balance urban energy with seaside relaxation so perfectly. One moment, you're exploring a centuries-old cathedral, and the next, you're dipping your toes in the sparkling waters of the Mediterranean. But Barcelona is not just about sights, it's about feelings. The city thrives on its plazas, where life unfolds slowly and joyfully. Sit in Plaza Real in the evening, and you'll hear the laughter of friends, the strum of guitars, and the clinking of glasses. Walk down La Rambla, the city's most famous boulevard, and you'll be swept into a river of performers, artists, flower stalls, and street musicians. Yes, it's busy. Yes, it's touristy. But it captures the rhythm of Barcelona's life, vibrant, spontaneous, and full of surprises. And then there's the food. Barcelona is a paradise for food lovers. Here, traditional Catalan flavors mix with global creativity. You can sample tapas in small neighborhood bars, enjoy fresh seafood straight from the Mediterranean, or indulge in avant-garde dining at Michelin-starred restaurants. Local specialties like pa amb tomàquet, bread rubbed with tomato and drizzled with olive oil, or escalivada, a smoky grilled vegetable dish, remind you of the city's roots. And of course, no culinary journey here would be complete without crema catalana, the sweet cousin of crème brûlée. Pair it all with a glass of cava, Catalonia's sparkling wine, and you have the taste of Barcelona. But perhaps Barcelona's true heartbeat is its passion. This city lives and breathes creativity not only in its art and architecture but also in its people. It pulses through the music, from traditional flamenco to modern Catalan rock. It erupts in the electrifying atmosphere of Camp Nou, the legendary home of FC Barcelona, where football is not just a sport but a way of life, a language of unity and pride. Barcelona is a city that constantly reinvents itself. It hosted the 1992 Olympic Games, an event that transformed its skyline and global image. Since then, it has grown into one of the world's most beloved destinations, a place where millions come each year to be inspired, to be moved, and to be part of its living story. But no matter how many visitors arrive, Barcelona never loses its essence. It remains fiercely proud, deeply creative, and endlessly captivating. To walk through its streets is to step into a dream crafted by centuries of imagination, a dream that still feels alive in every stone, every plaza, every sunset over the Mediterranean. As we leave Barcelona behind, we carry with us its magic, the colors of Gaudí, the taste of Catalan cuisine, the rhythm of its streets, and yet, Spain is filled with more wonders that await discovery. Our journey continues to a city where history and culture intertwine in dazzling beauty, a city known as the heart of Andalusia. Next, we arrive in Seville, where passion takes the form of music, dance, and timeless tradition. Andalusia, land of passion and tradition. Sevilla's flamenco soul, Cordoba's mezquita, Granada's Alhambra, and the whitewashed villages of Ronda. The legacy of Moorish Spain. What if I told you there's a city where time slows down, where every sunset feels like a painting, and where passion isn't just expressed, it's lived? Welcome to Seville, the soul of Andalusia, and one of Spain's most unforgettable treasures. This is a place where music, dance, and centuries of history blend seamlessly, creating an atmosphere so enchanting that once you arrive, you may never want to leave. Seville is often called the beating heart of southern Spain, and for good reason. It's a city that embodies the essence of Andalusia, its warmth, its rhythm, and its spirit of celebration. As you wander its streets, you quickly realize that Seville is not just about sights, it's about feelings, emotions, and moments that stay with you long after you've left. The most iconic landmark of Seville is undoubtedly the Seville Cathedral, one of the largest Gothic cathedrals in the world. Built on the site of a former mosque, it towers above the city with astonishing grandeur. Step inside, and you're surrounded by soaring vaults, intricate chapels, and one of the most magnificent altarpieces ever crafted. Within its walls lies the tomb of Christopher Columbus, a reminder of Seville's role as a gateway to the New World during Spain's Golden Age. The cathedral's bell tower, the Giralda, is a masterpiece of Moorish design. Originally a minaret that now serves as a symbol of Seville itself. Climb to the top, and you're rewarded with sweeping views over terracotta rooftops and winding streets. But perhaps the most breathtaking jewel of Seville is the real Alcazar, a royal palace that feels like it was pulled from the pages of a fairy tale. This is where Islamic artistry and Christian power came together to create one of the most stunning examples of Mudejar architecture in the world. Its courtyards are lined with delicate arches, intricate tilework, and lush gardens that feel like an oasis in the middle of the city. Fountains trickle softly, orange trees perfume the air, and light dances across carved stone. Every corner seems designed to inspire awe. Even today, the Alcazar serves as a royal residence, making it one of the oldest palaces in continuous use in Europe. Step outside, and Seville's charm unfolds in its neighborhoods. The Santa Cruz district is a labyrinth of narrow streets, whitewashed walls, and flower-filled balconies. It was once the Jewish quarter, and its intimate alleyways seem to invite you to get lost, to stumble upon hidden squares where locals sip coffee or play guitar. In the evening, lanterns glow, casting a soft light that transforms Santa Cruz into one of the most romantic places in Spain. But Seville is not just about architecture, it's about passion. And nowhere is that passion more alive than in its flamenco. Born in Andalusia, flamenco is not just music or dance, it's an outpouring of emotion, a language of the soul. In Seville, you can feel it everywhere. In the rhythmic strum of a guitar, the cry of a singer, the stamping of a dancer's feet as she pours her heart into every movement. To witness flamenco in an intimate setting, perhaps in a small tableau or a hidden courtyard, is to feel the very heartbeat of Seville. And then there's the celebration that defines the city. La Feria de Abril, the April Fair. For 1 week each year, Seville transforms into a festival of color, music, and joy. Locals dress in traditional attire, women in vibrant flamenco dresses, men in short jackets and wide-brimmed hats as they parade through the streets on horseback or dance the sevillanas until dawn. The fairgrounds explode with casetas, colorful tents where friends and families gather to eat, drink, sing, and celebrate. It's an explosion of life, tradition, and community that captures the very soul of Seville. Food, too, is central to Seville's identity. Here, tapas are not just a meal, they're a way of life. From small plates of jamón ibérico to fried fish, gazpacho, or the comforting flavors of salmorejo, every dish tells a story of tradition and local pride. Eating in Seville means moving from bar to bar, sampling, sharing, and savoring, always with laughter and conversation filling the air. But perhaps the most unforgettable part of Seville is its atmosphere. This is a city that doesn't just welcome you, it embraces you. It's in the warmth of its people, in the sound of church bells mingling with the strum of guitars, in the sight of orange trees blooming along its boulevards. It's in the quiet moments at sunset, when the sky glows golden and the silhouette of the Giralda rises against the fading light. Seville is more than a destination. It's an experience. It's where history whispers in ancient walls, where art comes alive in movement and song, and where every corner invites you to slow down, breathe, and savor the beauty of the moment. To be in Seville is to feel alive, to feel connected to something timeless and deeply human. As we leave Seville behind, we carry with us its passion, the music, the dance, the flavors, and the warmth of its people. But Spain's wonders are far from over. Ahead lies a city known for its Moorish palaces, its mesmerizing gardens, and one of the most iconic monuments in all of Europe. Next, we journey to Granada, home of the legendary Alhambra, where history and magic meet on the slopes of the Sierra Nevada. Valencia, futuristic meets historic. The city of arts and sciences, Valencia Cathedral, Central Market, and the birthplace of paella showcase the Phallus Festival and Mediterranean lifestyle. Imagine standing at the foot of snow-capped mountains, looking up at a fortress palace so mesmerizing, it feels less like stone and mortar and more like a dream carved into reality. This is Granada, and at its heart lies one of the greatest architectural wonders in the world, the Alhambra. If Seville is the city of passion, Granada is the city of enchantment, where every wall, every arch, and every courtyard tells a story of power, poetry, and paradise. Granada sits on the edge of the Sierra Nevada, a city that has witnessed the rise and fall of empires. Once the last stronghold of the Moors in Spain, Granada became a place where Islamic art reached its peak, delicate, intricate, and infused with spirituality. Walking through the Alhambra, you step back into that world, a place where geometry, light, and water were used to create something truly divine. The Alhambra is more than a palace, it's a city within a city. Its name means the Red One, inspired by the reddish hue of its walls that glow like fire at sunset. As you enter, the first thing you notice is the perfect harmony of design. The Nasrid palaces, the heart of the Alhambra, are masterpieces of Islamic architecture. Every surface seems alive, walls covered in intricate stucco, ceilings carved with honeycomb patterns, and courtyards filled with fountains that reflect the play of light and shadow. The Court of the Lions, perhaps the most famous part of the Alhambra, is breathtaking. A delicate fountain, supported by 12 carved lions, stands at the center of an elegant courtyard surrounded by slender columns. Water flows gently, symbolizing life and eternity, while the arches and carvings whisper the poetry of an era when art was seen as a pathway to the divine. To stand here is to feel as if you've stepped into another world, one where time stands still and beauty transcends centuries. Equally mesmerizing is the Hall of the Ambassadors, where rulers once received foreign dignitaries. Its towering wooden ceiling is a marvel of craftsmanship, a cosmic map of stars carved into cedar. Imagine the weight of history in this room, the negotiations, the alliances, the decisions that would shape the destiny of Spain and beyond. The Alhambra was not just a palace, it was a stage where power and culture met in dazzling splendor. Yet the Alhambra is not only about architecture, it's about nature as well. The Generalife Gardens, once the summer retreat of Moorish kings, are a vision of paradise on earth. Terraces overflowing with roses, cypress trees, and fountains create a space designed for peace and reflection. Water trickles through stone channels, birds sing in the trees, and every path leads to a new hidden corner of tranquility. It's easy to understand why poets describe the Generalife as a place where heaven touched earth. But Granada itself is more than the Alhambra. Wander through the Albaycin, the city's old Moorish quarter, and you'll find a maze of narrow lanes, whitewashed houses, and small squares that open to stunning views of the Alhambra against the backdrop of the Sierra Nevada. From the Mirador de San Nicolas, the site of the Alhambra glowing in the evening light, with the mountains rising behind it, is one of the most iconic views in Spain, and perhaps the world. Granada is also a city of contrasts. Its Christian heritage is equally powerful, embodied in the Granada Cathedral and the Royal Chapel, where the Catholic monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella are buried. These structures symbolize the turning point in Spanish history, the moment when Granada was taken in 1492, marking the end of Moorish rule and the dawn of a new era. To walk through Granada is to walk through the very crossroads of civilizations. And of course, Granada, like all of Spain, lives through its flavors. The city has a unique tradition. Order a drink, and you'll receive a tapa for free. This culture of sharing food has made Granada famous among travelers, who delight in hopping from bar to bar, tasting everything from rich stews to fresh seafood, from fried eggplant drizzled with honey to simple plates of local cheese and ham. Dining here is not just about food, it's about community, conversation, and savoring life. Granada is also home to a deep tradition of flamenco, but with a twist. In the caves of the Sacromonte district, you can experience flamenco in its rawest form, with performances that feel less like entertainment and more like an eruption of pure emotion. The stamping of feet, the haunting cries of the singers, the piercing notes of the guitar, all of it echoes against the cave walls, creating an experience you'll never forget. What makes Granada so unforgettable is its ability to enchant on every level. It's a city of palaces and poetry, of gardens and music, of history and living tradition. To visit Granada is to feel the weight of centuries, but also the lightness of beauty. It's a reminder that some places are not just destinations, they're dreams etched into the fabric of the earth. As the sun sets behind the Alhambra and the city lights begin to glow, you realize that Granada is more than a place you visit, it's a place that stays with you forever. But our journey through Spain continues. Ahead lies a city of vibrant beaches, futuristic architecture, and Mediterranean spirit. Next, we travel east to Valencia, where tradition and modernity meet under the Spanish sun. Bilbao, San Sebastian, the Basque Country, Guggenheim Museum, old fishing harbors, world-class cuisine and golden beaches, unique culture and rugged Atlantic coastline. What if I told you there's a city where you can walk from golden beaches kissed by the Mediterranean to futuristic buildings that look like they belong on another planet, and then sit down to taste one of the world's most iconic dishes all in the same day? Welcome to Valencia, a city that perfectly blends history, innovation, and culinary tradition. If Madrid is Spain's beating heart and Barcelona its pulse of creativity, then Valencia is its soul of balance, where old and new coexist in perfect harmony. Valencia is Spain's third largest city, but it feels surprisingly approachable. At its center lies the Ciutat Vella, or Old Town, a labyrinth of narrow streets, lively squares, and centuries-old architecture. Here, the Valencia Cathedral stands as a monument to time itself. Built on the site of an ancient Roman temple and later a mosque, the cathedral is a patchwork of architectural styles, Gothic, Baroque, and Romanesque, all fused together. Inside, many claim it houses one of Christianity's greatest relics, the Holy Grail, the cup said to have been used by Jesus at the Last Supper. Whether legend or truth, it adds an air of mystery to the city's spiritual heart. Step outside, and you'll find the Plaza de la Virgen, one of Valencia's most charming squares, buzzing with life. Cafes spill out onto the pavement, locals chat over coffee, and street performers fill the air with music. Not far away lies the Lonja de la Seda, or Silk Exchange, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Built in the 15th century, this Gothic masterpiece was once the center of Europe's silk trade. Its twisted stone columns rise like palm trees in an indoor forest, a symbol of Valencia's wealth and importance during Spain's golden age of commerce. But Valencia is not only about the past, it's also about embracing the future. Nowhere is this more evident than at the City of Arts and Sciences. a complex so futuristic it feels like stepping into a science fiction movie. Designed by the brilliant architect Santiago Calatrava, it's an architectural wonderland where glass, steel, and water create reflections that blur the line between reality and imagination. The hemispheric, shaped like a giant eye, houses a planetarium and IMAX theater. The oceanographic, Europe's largest aquarium, takes visitors on a journey through the world's oceans, from the Arctic to the tropics. And the Palau de les Arts, Reina Sofia, an opera house shaped like a ship's hull, is a temple for music and performance. To stroll through this complex is to witness Valencia boldly embracing the 21st century while staying grounded in its traditions. And traditions are everywhere in this city. Valencia is the birthplace of paella, Spain's most famous dish. But don't be fooled by the countless imitations around the world. True, Valencian paella is something different, something authentic, made with rice grown in the fertile fields around the Albufera lagoon, and traditionally cooked with chicken, rabbit, green beans, and saffron. It's a dish that tells the story of the land itself. Sitting at a table in Valencia, with the aroma of paella wafting through the air, is not just eating, it's experiencing history with every bite. Speaking of the Albufera Natural Park, it's one of Valencia's hidden treasures. Just outside the city, this vast freshwater lagoon and wetlands area is a sanctuary for wildlife and a paradise for birdwatchers. Traditional boats still glide across its waters, just as they have for centuries. Locals say it was here that paella was born, prepared by farmers who used the ingredients they had on hand. Watching the sun set over the lagoon, the sky painted in hues of orange and purple, you understand why the Albufera is considered the soul of Valencia. Valencia is also famous for its festivals, none more spectacular than Las Fallas, a celebration like no other. Every March, the city erupts in color, fire, and sound. Giant sculptures, called Nino, often satirical and humorous, are paraded through the streets before being set ablaze in a dramatic spectacle of flames. Fireworks crackle in the night sky. Music fills the air, and the entire city becomes one giant celebration of creativity, tradition, and renewal. To witness Las Fallas is to see Valencia's spirit at its most vibrant, joyful, passionate, and unafraid to burn the old to make way for the new. And let's not forget Valencia's coastline. The city opens itself to the Mediterranean with wide, sandy beaches like Playa de la Malvarosa and Playa de las Arenas. Here, life slows down as families stroll along the promenade. Children play in the surf, and restaurants serve fresh seafood right by the sea. It's a reminder that, in Valencia, the Mediterranean is not just a backdrop, it's a way of life. Valencia is a city of light, water, and contrast. It's a place where medieval towers guard streets, lined with futuristic architecture, where centuries-old traditions live alongside bold innovation, and where every flavor tells a story of land and sea. It doesn't demand attention with the grandeur of Madrid or the fame of Barcelona. Valencia wins your heart quietly, with warmth, authenticity, and a rhythm all its own. As you leave Valencia, the memory of its flavors, its festivals, and its dazzling architecture lingers. But our Spanish journey is far from over. Next, we travel to a land of rugged coastlines, artistic legends, and a culture unlike any other in Spain. Get ready for the magic of Catalonia and the unforgettable city of Barcelona, Toledo, Salamanca, Spain's living history, Toledo's medieval streets, Jewish quarter, and cathedral, Salamanca's golden sandstone architecture and vibrant university life. What if there was a city where buildings looked like living creatures, where streets sang with the rhythm of art and rebellion, and where every corner seemed to whisper a story of passion? Welcome to Barcelona, the crown jewel of Catalonia, and one of the most enchanting cities on earth. This isn't just a place you visit, it's a place that grabs your senses, fuels your imagination, and refuses to let go. Barcelona is a city unlike any other because it is not only shaped by history, but also by visionaries. At its heart lies the genius of Antoni Gaudí, the architect who transformed the city into a surreal masterpiece. His crowning achievement, the Sagrada Familia, rises into the sky like a cathedral carved by the hands of nature itself. Its towers soar upward like tree trunks. Its facades tell the story of the Bible in stone, and its stained glass windows bathe the interior in a kaleidoscope of colors. More than 140 years after construction began, the basilica remains unfinished. Yet even in its incomplete state, it is one of the most breathtaking works of architecture in human history. To step inside is to step into a living dream where art and faith become one. But Gaudí's imagination didn't stop there. At Park Güell, he created a wonderland of whimsical designs that blur the line between art and nature. Brightly colored mosaics form lizards, benches curve like the waves of the sea, and columns rise like trees in a surreal forest. Walking through Park Güell feels less like strolling in a city park and more like wandering through the mind of a creative genius. Then there's Casa Batlló, often called the House of Bones, with its flowing shapes and shimmering facade, and Casa Milà, a stone building that looks more like a rolling landscape than a structure. Gaudí gave Barcelona its identity, and his vision continues to define the city's skyline and soul. Yet Barcelona is more than Gaudí. The city's story stretches back thousands of years. At the heart of the old town lies the very Gothic, or Gothic quarter, where narrow medieval streets twist like a labyrinth. Here you'll find the Barcelona Cathedral, Roman ruins, and hidden courtyards where time seems to stand still. Walking through these streets, you can almost feel the echoes of the Romans, the kings of Aragon, and the merchants who once made Barcelona one of the great Mediterranean powers. Barcelona also thrives on its unique cultural identity. This is Catalonia, a region with its own language, traditions, and fierce pride. The Catalan spirit is everywhere in the festivals, in the food, and in the chants of the crowds at Camp Nou, the legendary stadium of FC Barcelona. For Catalans, football isn't just a game, it's an expression of identity, a celebration of resilience, and sometimes even a statement of independence. To experience a match here, surrounded by thousands chanting "Més que un club," more than a club, is to understand the heartbeat of Barcelona. And then, there's the sea. Barcelona stretches along the Mediterranean with beautiful beaches that make the city feel like a resort as much as a metropolis. Barceloneta Beach is the most famous, a golden strip of sand where locals and visitors mingle, enjoy seafood paella by the shore, and soak up the sun. The palm-lined promenade invites long walks, cycling, and endless moments of relaxation. Few cities in the world can offer the combination of cosmopolitan energy and seaside calm that Barcelona does so effortlessly. Food, of course, is another part of Barcelona's magic. Catalan cuisine is rich, inventive, and deeply tied to the land and sea. Imagine tasting pan con tomate, simple yet irresistible bread rubbed with tomato and olive oil, or savoring calçots, a type of grilled green onion, dipped into a flavorful romesco sauce. Tapas bars buzz with energy, offering small plates of seafood, jamón ibérico, and patatas bravas. And of course, no culinary journey here is complete without sampling a glass of cava, Catalonia's sparkling wine. In Barcelona, meals aren't just about eating, they're about sharing, connecting, and celebrating life. Barcelona also knows how to put on a show. Festivals like La Mercè, dedicated to the city's patron saint, bring the streets alive with parades, fireworks, and the famous human towers known as castles, where teams of people climb on top of each other to form dizzying structures that reach toward the sky. This tradition, unique to Catalonia, is not just about strength, it's about trust, balance, and community. Watching a castle rise is witnessing human determination at its finest. But perhaps what makes Barcelona so unforgettable is its ability to blend opposites seamlessly. It is both modern and ancient, artistic and rebellious, vibrant yet laid back. One moment you're gazing up at the soaring towers of the Sagrada Familia, and the next you're sipping sangria by the sea. It's a city of contrasts, yet every piece fits perfectly into the puzzle of its identity. As the sun sets over Barcelona, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, the city transforms into something almost magical. Streetlights flicker on, music drifts through the air, and the energy of the night begins. Whether you're exploring tapas bars in El Born, dancing until dawn in the city's clubs, or simply walking under the stars by the beach, Barcelona at night is an experience that stays with you forever. Barcelona is not just a destination, it's a feeling, a memory, a work of art that lives long after you've left. But our Spanish journey continues, and ahead lies another land of deep tradition, dramatic landscapes, and unforgettable passion. Next, we travel to the heart of Andalusia, where Moorish palaces, flamenco rhythms, and sun-soaked cities await. Natural wonders, Picos de Europa, Pyrenees, Sierra Nevada, Canary Islands' volcanic landscapes, and Mallorca's Mediterranean charm, hiking, beaches, and outdoor adventures. Imagine a land where the air itself seems to pulse with rhythm, where ancient palaces glitter with Islamic artistry, and where every sunset feels like the beginning of a story whispered by the winds of history. Welcome to Andalusia, the beating heart of southern Spain, where cultures collide, legends endure, and passion runs deeper than the veins of the earth. Our journey begins in Granada, a city cradled by the Sierra Nevada mountains. Here lies one of the most extraordinary monuments ever built by human hands, the Alhambra. To call it a palace would be an understatement. It is a city within a city, a dazzling testament to the brilliance of Moorish civilization. The walls are etched with endless arabesques, the ceilings sparkle with geometric designs, and the gardens overflow with fountains and orange blossoms. As sunlight filters through delicate lattice windows, patterns of shadow and light dance across the marble floors. The Alhambra is not just architecture, it is poetry carved into stone, a masterpiece where every corridor whispers tales of sultans, scholars, and dreamers. But Granada is not only about its past, it's a living, breathing tapestry of cultures. From the vibrant Albaicin neighborhood, with its maze of narrow streets and whitewashed houses, to the soulful caves of Sacromonte, where the echoes of flamenco can be heard deep into the night. Flamenco is more than music. It is an outpouring of emotion, a cry of the soul that embodies the struggles, joys, and passions of the Andalusian spirit. To witness a flamenco performance in Granada is to feel time dissolve, leaving only raw, unfiltered human emotion. From Granada, we travel to Seville, the radiant jewel of Andalusia. Seville is a city of grandeur, where history and festivity walk hand in hand. At its heart stands the Seville Cathedral, one of the largest in the world and home to the tomb of Christopher Columbus. Towering above it is the Giralda, a former minaret-turned bell tower, offering panoramic views of a city that seems to glow under the Andalusian sun. Just steps away lies the Royal Alcazar of Seville, a palace so enchanting it feels like a fairy tale come alive. With its intricate tilework, serene courtyards, and lush gardens, the Alcazar captures the essence of Andalusia's layered past, Islamic, Christian, and everything in between. Seville is also a city that knows how to celebrate life. Its streets explode with energy during the Feria de Abril, a week-long festival of music, dance, and color. Women dressed in flamenco gowns swirl gracefully to the sound of guitars. Horse-drawn carriages parade through the streets, and the scent of tapas and sherry fills the air. And then there is Semana Santa, Holy Week, when massive processions of floats and hooded penitents fill the streets in a breathtaking display of faith and tradition. In Seville, the past isn't locked in museums. It lives and breathes in every festival, every melody, and every shared meal. Traveling further, Andalusia reveals its sun-soaked landscapes and whitewashed villages. The Pueblos Blancos, perched on hilltops, look like clusters of white jewels against the rugged mountains. Villages like Ronda, with its dramatic cliffside views and ancient bridge, or Mijas, with its cobblestone alleys and flower-filled balconies, capture the timeless charm of rural Andalusia. These towns are not tourist attractions, they are living memories, places where traditions remain strong and life moves to a slower, more soulful rhythm. Andalusia is also the birthplace of unforgettable flavors. Imagine tasting jamón ibérico, thin slices of cured ham that melt on your tongue, or savoring a bowl of gazpacho, a chilled tomato soup perfect for the scorching Andalusian summers. Seafood fresh from the Mediterranean, olives harvested from endless groves, and sweet sherry wine from Jerez. This is a land where every bite tells a story of sun, soil, and centuries of culture. But Andalusia's true power lies not only in its monuments, music, or food, it lies in its soul. This is a place shaped by diversity, where the legacies of Moors, Christians, and Jews intertwine. It is a place where art is not a luxury but a way of life, where beauty is found in both the grand and the simple, and where passion is the language spoken by everyone, from the dancer on stage to the farmer in the field. As the day ends, Andalusia offers one of the most magical sights you will ever witness. Picture the sun dipping behind the Way of St. James, with one destination in mind, the Santiago de Compostela Cathedral. Here, according to tradition, lie the remains of the Apostle James, making it one of Christianity's holiest sites. As you stand in the grand square before the cathedral, you can almost feel the energy of centuries of devotion. Pilgrims arrive exhausted but elated, some in tears, some in prayer, some simply standing in awe. Inside, the cathedral glows with golden light, its Romanesque and Baroque architecture towering with majesty. The highlight is the Botafumeiro, an enormous incense burner that swings across the nave like a soaring pendulum, filling the air with smoke and symbolism. To witness this spectacle is to touch the very heart of Galicia's spiritual identity. But Galicia is not defined by religion alone. It is also a land steeped in Celtic heritage. The swirling bagpipes known as gaita echo through village festivals, a reminder of Galicia's deep-rooted Celtic past. Unlike much of Spain, Galicia feels closer to Ireland or Scotland, with its rolling hills, stone ruins, and folklore of witches and spirits. In fact, the Galicians believe in the Magas witches who bring good or bad fortune, and even today, rituals and superstitions blend seamlessly with modern life. This fusion of faith and folklore gives Galicia a cultural richness unlike any other part of Spain. Traveling beyond Santiago, Galicia unveils some of the most awe-inspiring coastal landscapes in Europe, known as a coast da morte, or the coast of death. This rugged shoreline is both beautiful and dangerous, named for the countless shipwrecks that have occurred here over centuries. Towering cliffs plunge into foaming seas, lighthouses stand as lonely sentinels, and fishing villages cling to the rocks, living in harmony with the power of the ocean. At Cape Finisterre, once believed to be the edge of the known world, pilgrims burn their clothes and shoes as a symbol of rebirth after completing the Camino. Standing at Finisterre, watching the Atlantic swallow the sun, you feel an overwhelming sense of ending and beginning all at once. Galicia is also a land of hidden treasures. The Rias Baixas, deep coastal inlets shaped by the sea, create landscapes of serene beauty, dotted with vineyards that produce the famous Albarino wine. Fresh seafood defines Galician cuisine, from octopus sprinkled with paprika, known as pulpo a la gallega, to platters of mussels, clams, and scallops harvested straight from the ocean. Food here is not just nourishment, it is a celebration of the land and sea working in perfect harmony. Inland, Galicia reveals another side of its magic. The Cathedral of Mondoñedo, smaller but no less breathtaking, tells the story of a region where faith and architecture walk hand in hand. The forests of Fragas do Yume, lush and almost primeval, feel like stepping into a fairy tale. And the Roman walls of Lugo, perfectly preserved after nearly 2,000 years, remind us that Galicia has always been a land of resilience and endurance. But perhaps the true wonder of Galicia lies in its atmosphere. There is a mysticism here, an unspoken sense that the land itself is alive, It's in the morning fog that blankets the valleys, in the chants of pilgrims walking the Camino, and in the waves that crash endlessly against the granite shores. It is a place where the spiritual and the earthly merge, where history feels present, and where every step takes you deeper into the soul of Spain. As the day closes in Galicia, imagine standing at Cape Finisterre, the ocean stretching endlessly before you. The sky turns crimson, the waves echo like thunder, and you realize that this land is not just about places, it's about emotions, transformation, and connection. Galicia is not a destination. It is a journey of the heart and spirit. And yet, our journey across Spain continues. From the mystical green hills of Galicia, we now travel east to a land where medieval charm meets modern energy, where Gothic cathedrals soar beside futuristic architecture. Next, we arrive in Castile and León, the kingdom of castles, cathedrals, and timeless history. Conclusion: the spirit of Spain, from its history and traditions to modern innovations, celebrating why Spain is one of the most captivating places to visit in 2025. Closing hook to inspire viewers to explore. What if I told you that the very soul of Spain, its castles, its cathedrals, its legends of knights and kings still lives and breathes in a single region? A place where stone fortresses guard the horizon, where Gothic towers touch the sky, and where the weight of history is felt in every cobblestone street. Welcome to Castile and León, the heartland of Spain, a land of grandeur, faith, and unshakable tradition. Our journey begins in Burgos, home to one of the greatest Gothic cathedrals in the world. Rising like a crown of stone, the Burgos Cathedral is a masterpiece of soaring spires and intricate carvings. Inside, sunlight filters through stained glass, illuminating chapels filled with centuries of devotion. Here lies El Cid, Spain's legendary knight, immortalized in both history and myth. As you stand before his tomb, you can almost hear the echo of clashing swords and the call of destiny that shaped a nation. Burgos is more than a city, it is a gateway to Spain's medieval soul. From Burgos, the road leads us to León, a city where history and faith intertwine in breathtaking harmony. The León Cathedral, known as the House of Light, is famed for its dazzling stained glass windows, among the most beautiful in Europe. Step inside, and you are bathed in a kaleidoscope of colors, as if the walls themselves have melted into light. Nearby, the Basilica de San Isidoro holds the pantheon of the Kings of León, often called the Sistine Chapel of Romanesque art. Its painted ceilings, telling biblical stories in vivid, centuries-old brushstrokes. León whispers the grandeur of a kingdom that once ruled vast stretches of Iberia. But Castile and León is not only about faith, it is also about power. The region is dotted with castles, more than 500 of them, each guarding tales of war, betrayal, and glory. The fortress of Peñafiel, rising above vineyards like a ship of stone, stands as a reminder of the region's military might. The castle of Coca, with its striking red brick and Gothic mudéjar style, looks like something out of a fairy tale. And in every town, from Medina del Campo to Zamora, the silhouettes of towers and battlements speak of a time when kingdoms rose and fell, and Spain's destiny was forged in stone. The jewel of this land, however, is Salamanca. Its university, founded in 1218, is one of the oldest in Europe and has shaped generations of thinkers, poets, and leaders. Walk through the golden sandstone streets and you'll find the Plaza Mayor, one of the most stunning squares in Spain, glowing warmly in the evening light. The twin cathedrals of Salamanca, one Romanesque, one Gothic, stand side by side, symbolizing the passage of time and the continuity of faith. In the university courtyard, seek out the tiny stone frog carved on a skull, said to bring luck to those who find it. Salamanca is a city of wisdom, beauty, and timeless charm. Beyond the cities, Castile and León is a land of vast landscapes, endless plains that stretch toward the horizon, broken by mountains where snow still lingers and rivers carve deep valleys. The Duero River winds its way through the region, nourishing vineyards that produce some of Spain's finest wines, especially in Ribera del Duero. Here, tradition and flavor merge in every glass, just as roasted lamb and hearty stews bring the warmth of the land to every meal. History lives not only in stone and wine, but also in memory. This is the land of the Reconquista, where Christian kingdoms fought to reclaim Iberia. It is the land of scholars and saints, of kings and queens, of ordinary people who built extraordinary cities. Every village, every monastery, every castle tells a story of resilience and identity. As the sun sets over the Castilian plains, casting the sky in shades of fire, you understand why Castile and León is called the cradle of Spain. This is where the Spanish language was born, where medieval kingdoms laid the foundation of a nation, and where the echoes of the past still shape the present. To walk here is to walk in the footsteps of history itself. And so, our journey through Spain comes to a close. From the bustling boulevards of Madrid to the serene cliffs of Galicia, from Andalusia's fiery passion to the quiet majesty of Castile and León, Spain reveals itself as a country of contrasts, of light and shadow, of tradition and innovation, of faith and festivity. Spain is not just a destination, it is a feeling, an experience that lingers long after the journey ends. Spain's wonders call to us not as tourists, but as explorers of its soul. And as you leave, one truth remains. Spain is not a place you simply visit. It is a place that changes you forever. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels, and see you in the next video.